I've been to a Cheyenne Wells prom
I think it was probably the same prom I was.
with Alex Knutson.
Yep. Oh, Alex.
Small world.
Are you ready, Victoria?
Yep, we're good.
Oh, Victoria.
That's what I call her. Or Swifty.
She's a Swiftie.
Me too, I guess.
Oh, that's right, because you did.
I was there.
When, I'm just kind of curious, knowing that this being your first year, Tom has a sense of sarcasm. Did he leave you any words of wit as he exited and you entered?
He leaves me lots of words of wisdom. Yeah.
How many of them can you repeat?
To the public, not many. No. He's a good dear friend, and I think there's more days that I talk to Tom still than when I don't talk to Tom. So he helps run our NIL collective with the Green and Gold Guard for the volleyball team. So he's still very involved with our team and our program, but even just volleyball X's and O's, he's still a good friend that I can bounce ideas off of. So.
How excited are you to finally have this chance at this role to be a head coach to lead a program on your own?
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I mean, this has always been plan A for me. I'm from Colorado. My grandpa played football here. My dad and brother went here, so I grew up in this house of Rams fans, and I think if I ever would have taken a job at CU, I would have been disowned. But it's been always the plan to move back here to raise my family. I have a 2.5-year-old and a 3-month-old, and my 3-month-old is currently sick, and my mom's here. And so that was an easy fix, the support system that coaches need to be successful with their family and where my husband wants to live and can work with his job. This is always a dream. So now I also get to lead a team that I firmly believe in. I helped recruit all of them that are on this team, and they're the team that I wanted to choose to coach in my first experience. And so yeah, it's awesome.
What's the biggest shift as you kind of move off the bench from the assistant to the head job?
It's my first year of having to deliver like starting and non-starting news, and that was always one of my least favorite weeks, even as an assistant, where I was kind of happy to be the assistant and be like, well, you do it. And so, again, I have tried to tell to our team that my currency for how much I care about them can't be measured in playing time, because it's a net zero game, right? By me playing one person and not playing someone else is the same as if it's vice versa. And I do care about them as people and individuals and what their lifelong goals and things that we can help them with achieve with that. But that's probably the hardest part. I think in the past few years, Tom's done an excellent job of mentoring me to be prepared for the admin side of head coaching. He would take me as an assistant to the Mountain West head coaches meetings. And he would make sure I would be involved at the table with our biggest donors and things like that. And so that part I feel pretty prepared for, because for the past few years we've known it's coming with Tom, and so he wanted to give me my best foot forward with that.
Obviously, you've been in Moby for playing these big matches, but what's it going to be like next weekend? Obviously, 2 top 10 teams. You have the whiteout to start it. Like, I know obviously there's prep before that, but
Yeah.
have you kind of let yourself think about what's going to be like to start the head coaching career,
For
in
sure.
that atmosphere?
Yeah, I've never been a nervous person. As a player, I don't feel like I ever got that nervous, and as an assistant, I didn't get that nervous. And as a head coach, all of a sudden, I'm like, what is this feeling inside of me? Because I'm a little bit nervous. But I say that to the girls too, of like, we can't perform at our peak without some sort of stress. That's a studied science, and so I'm trying to think of it as a good thing and reframe it of like, yep, we're gonna have some nerves. They're gonna have some nerves in front of 8,000 fans. And some of them have never played in Moby before too, so we're all going through this together. That we will probably make some mistakes somewhere along the way of this season, and we're going to be patient, we're going to work it out, but in the long run, I think that we got the right people on the bus.
It's obviously exciting first opportunity as a head coach, but also is it a little bit unnerving just given the responsibility of trying to uphold this program that Tom has built? It's obviously not the same as most volleyball programs.
For sure, yeah. I have big shoes to fill, and I've like joked with myself, I have a shoe addiction anyway, so let's go. Yeah, it does come with that, but what a great opportunity. I think a lot of first-time head coaches' opportunities are at rebuild programs.
Yeah.
And so I feel very lucky that mine is not a rebuild program, but it does come with some expectation. But again, that's what I've recruited these players to come into too. So why would I expect anything different out of myself? And no matter, I think, where I would have ended up as a first-time head coach, I would have told myself I want to build championship teams. But now I just get to do it earlier than what I think a lot of first-time head coaches have to expect.
Y'all have no shortage of quality opponents that come to Moby, and I think atmosphere is probably a big part of that. I'm curious, I saw Nebraska obviously is a big program. They're going to play a game in the football stadium,
Yeah.
80,000 people. Would you be open to trying to do something like that here, or maybe being an opponent going into an atmosphere like that?
I'm going to say 7 years ago, me and Tom, when the stadium was first getting built, we were like, let's go throw a sport court down in front of the new Belgium porch. And like, we had, and then I saw Nebraska, a year-ish ago, kind of announced they were going to do it. And me and Tom both texted each other. We were like, that was our idea. So yeah, because volleyball is a big deal in this community. And I do think we could have some excitement around it. And I think volleyball in the country has started to garner a lot of national media attention. So for the first time ever, they're going to play NCAA games on Fox this year after NFL games. And they're going to try to see on Sundays after a big football game, will people tune in and watch it? Because I think that's where a lot of media dollars and I'm going to say monetization of sports is trying to get to. So we're on ESPN. Obviously, a lot of places stream. We've watched attendance records fall across the country, and CSU volleyball, I think, is primed to be in the mix of national attention because we have such great community support. And for some of those big schools that are on our schedule, like they called us, which I think is a testament to the players and the program and the history and Moby Arena of they want their teams to be playing in front of those kind of fans.
You touched on it a little bit that you're coming into a team that's already kind of built up, and there's a lot of experience on this team. How helpful is that kind of in your first year as you kind of learn the head coaching position to have players who are that experienced?
I can't say how helpful it is for me, but also for our first-year staff, because I have assistants who are in their first years as part of CSU volleyball too. And so you can ask the captains the same question, but sometimes the captains are explaining how game day works to the assistant coaches, right? While I'm busy of things. And so to know that we've returned such a big core group of our roster, I haven't reinvented the wheel with the way we're like doing things that, again, everybody can help explain to the new players or the new coaches, like, hey, this is who CSU volleyball is. This is what our expectations are, and this is how we do things in these situations is extremely helpful because, again, it's not just me and a first-time head. There's a lot of first-time people around here.
How much for you is this season about, okay, so these are the way we've always done things at CSU and it's been successful, but this is now you.
Yeah.
What are the things that are new that you want to invigorate this program with?
I can't wait till you guys have to answer that question. Yeah, again, I've had a couple years of runway to think about that, and so some of the practice planning things are different. We have a big whiteboard in practice now that we put the practice up there. Everybody can know where they're going at any given moment, how long different drills are going to last. That is new. Tom would have a paper practice that he knew what was going on a lot of the times of. So that's like one new thing, but in terms of like the booster club or the scheduling philosophy and those things, not a lot of it is different. And I just think some of the, I guess, we have 3 females on staff, and I think that dynamic with a group of female athletes is a different thing. To go have, I hope, a lot of role models and mentors, and we've all been players that have been in their shoes in somewhat recent times that it's like, hey, I remember when it was game point and this happened, and Sonia Anderson was one of the best players in the world a year ago. And so she can really tell them, like, all right, at game point, here's what I'm thinking about, or here's what I would do. And so I think that part of it is really different in terms of just staff dynamics.
How difficult is that to find, you obviously want to keep so many of the things that have worked in the
Yeah.
past, because you were a part of that,
Yeah.
huge part of that, but then you're wanting to put your stamp on a few things. How difficult of a line is that to kind of walk?
We as a staff have talked about it a lot because with new staff comes new ideas. And so the scouting report is one example that Jessica on our staff is really, really great at scouting reports and numbers, and her idea of like bringing these new things in or how she wants the scout sheet to look. She's like, hey, I have all these ideas, and I'm like, not this year. There's so many other new things this year that we're going to keep the scout sheet the same, and we're going to keep the way we do our scout prep the same, and maybe in future years when we have a little bit more leniency for like new things, but we have enough new right now. And so I think there's like the 30-day plan, the 1-year plan, and it's like, okay, yeah, in 2 or 3 years, like those can be different things that we do, but not this year. So, yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Now the real stars.